Definitely my freshman year, even though I wasn't playing, I remember we went to La Tech and we were down like 9 with like a minute to go. And like, I don't think anybody had a doubt that we were going to lose that game, even though we were down 9. I remember like one of my teammates hit a big three to like, put us up. And like, that was like kind of showed me like it's never over and that like our culture really does matter and the things that we do in practice and our slogan, like it really matters and means something. So yeah, we came back and won that game. That was a, great win, but that definitely showed me like, yeah, this that was a tough moment that we overcame. And I think it just also builds, that moment, was a reflection of our culture. That win was a reflection of our culture for sure.
Okay, so we've got Fantasia James here from FIU Women's Basketball. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to get to know your journey. And so who put the basketball in your hands and how did basketball start for you?
Basketball started with my dad. He grew up playing basketball as well. My first sport was actually like soccer. So when I saw how much my dad loved basketball, it kind of like rubbed off on me. And then I just never looked back from there.
So did you fall in love with basketball with your dad going to a game, or did he just kind of put you into a practice? So how did that kind of start?
I remember like when I was little, he used to like have the little tykes, hoop and, he used to lift me up and, have me shoot it and stuff. But I would say, I remember my dad used to play, NBA 2K in the game a lot. I used to see him play it. So like just seeing like how much he loved the game, like it kind of rubbed off on me. So.
That's so funny. So when did you start taking it into your own personal journey?
I remember I started playing in second grade, but then like I kind of like I didn't like basketball at first, so I like went back to soccer, and then I really started taking it serious in I would say middle school, seventh grade. Um, yeah, that's when I knew like this is what I want to do. That's why I want to play in college, and this is what I'm passionate about. So.
I'm sure playing soccer probably really helped you with endurance with the court
Yeah.
going back and forth and running back and forth because in soccer there's so much running. So was there anything, and they're also two opposite sports. One's with your hands and one's with your foot, and you can't touch it with your foot and you can't touch it with your hands. So how did you kind of relate those two sports in your mind?
I guess just like the fast pacedness of it. I kind of like that both sports are like constantly, it's not stops. It's kind of like a continuous thing. Then also I feel like soccer helped me like with basketball footwork. You have to be good with your feet in soccer. So I feel like basketball wise, like, when it comes to defense or, any move really on the court, like I feel like everything starts with your feet. So I feel like, my start with soccer helped with that, help like, build that foundation for me to be able to play basketball.
And now that you are playing basketball at the collegiate route, like how has that experience kind of been for your dad being able to watch you?
It means the world. Just to like, I know how proud he is. Like my dad, my parents, like my family in general, but especially him. Just like I don't think he knows like his role like in me like really this is like his role in me being here. So I think just having him see my games, when we went to Jacksonville, he got the opportunity to see me play in person. So yeah, that it's just a blessing.
And I know you are from Florida, so was that part of your decision making in picking FIU? What was that journey like for you?
It definitely was. I'm a Florida kid. I don't like being cold at all. I hate the cold. But then also I'd say like Coach Birch recruiting me for so long. I've known her since I think my eighth grade or ninth grade year of ninth grade. Like she was recruiting me for that long. I remember she first got the job at FIU. That's when I remember like speaking to her for the first time. I think that relationship just with her at first, but then yeah, like you mentioned, like I am a Florida kid. I love Florida, and it wasn't too far from home. I feel like it's a good distance from Jacksonville, Miami. So yeah,
And you redshirted your freshman year, right?
yes, ma'am.
So what kind of happened? Was there an injury? What was it?
Yes, ma'am. I had a foot fracture. I came in from high school with a foot fracture. I didn't know my foot was broken. I just, I'm the kind of kid like I just play through pain. Like I just want to be on the court. But it was kind of lingering for a while. Then I ended up needing surgery for it in November. So that, took me out of the season. So that was hard to deal with, especially like being the only true freshman on the roster at the time. But I would say like a lot of my, no, though we had a lot of fifth year seniors on the team, so they their arms around me. So I would say that's what made the process a lot easier. But yeah, I missed my first season due to injury.
And now, how has the comeback been? How does it feel to kind of now be healthy, playing, and back in the game?
It feels great. Like you kind of take playing basketball for granted sometimes, and like the opportunity I get every day to wake up and do what I love. So that injury put things in perspective for me because I've never really been out for a significant amount of time. So yeah, it made me a lot more grateful for the opportunity I have to play here and to play basketball.
And what is like the end goal with basketball? Do you want to keep going after college, or is this more of a collegiate thing for you?
I definitely want to play pro. Definitely want to, play at that next level. I love basketball. I feel like I still have a lot more to give. So I definitely, like, my goal is to play professional.
Is there anybody in the W that you kind of look up to?
Um, Not really. I'm more of like a NBA kind of person. I definitely should watch more WNBA, but I would say my favorite WNBA player is Asia Wilson, but I would say like I feel like, Paul George is someone like I compare my game most to. I feel like I'm very versatile. I can defend a lot of spots, but I can also shoot the three and mid range and finish inside. So
Who's your favorite NBA team?
ooh, oof. I like the Celtics last year. I like Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown. I like that duo. But then also I like Paul George, so in Philly right now. So I'd say a tie between those two.
The journalistic route of my brain like loves Jalen Brown because of like everything he's like kind of challenged with the NBA. So I like watching his journey because I think he's one of those people who kind of have figured it out and like challenge and is like really intelligent and smart. So that's like
Yeah.
I've read up a lot on him. He's got a cool story. Um, so do you have any siblings or anything, or did you kind of grow up alone? What's kind of your family tree?
I just have a younger sister. She's in her senior year of high school, so yeah, just one younger sibling.
Does she play basketball?
No, she does weightlifting and she also is on the soccer team.
Oh, nice. So she took off with the soccer so that you could do basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And what has been your favorite part about being at FIU? Take me through the team culture, take me through the locker room, and kind of just being a part of the team.
I would say like being part of the team, like it's like very family oriented, like we're all pretty close and like we're all like we make sure like we have a bond or some kind of bond with each other. Obviously you're gonna be closer with some teammates, but just to make sure we have some kind of bond with each other, I think that's important. And then also like, me being like the longest tenured person here is my third year here. I kind of like got to see it from freshman year how close everybody was and like how important that is, especially like when it translates to the basketball court, how connected everybody is. So yeah, I definitely say like the closeness, the connectivity that we all have, and that's like been carrying on like for my seasons that I've been here. So.
Do you guys have like a team motto or a team word or slogan that you guys are kind of sticking by this year?
In my years I've been here, it's always been not for everyone. Like we kind of have that on our couple of our shirts, and it basically means like the hard things that we do. Like not everyone's built for the things that we do, and I feel like that's also like the championship mentality, like contributes to the championship mentality that we have every year. Like we have to do the hard things, we have to do the things that others aren't willing to do in order to reach our goals. So.
And being a D1 athlete, it takes a lot of commitment. So take me through that difference in lifestyle, just kind of tying it into your team motto of like, if not for everybody, like take me through kind of the sacrifices and the discipline that you do have.
Well, I feel like the sacrifices that I mean, me personally, I would say like the sacrifice I make. I feel like when I go back home, I'm always working out. I'm always doing something. I'm a pretty busy kid, so I can't like necessarily sit down for a long time. I always have to be doing something. But I feel like when it comes to practice and like team events, I feel like the workouts that we have over the summer, pushing the sleds, running on the football field, running and doing sand workouts. I feel like all that kind of stuff like builds our overall team toughness and like shows that like we can do hard things. Like this is hard, you know. When we get on the basketball court, it's nothing different, and we've shown that we can do hard things. So I would say definitely like how our summer workouts are structured, and also practice. I feel like practice is so obviously it was designed to be harder than the game. So when we get in the game, we can perform. So I'd say definitely those two.
Is there anybody in your personal or basketball journey that has kind of really carried you through development?
I don't think I could pinpoint necessarily one person. I feel like there's been so many, like my high school coaches, my middle school coach. I feel like my middle school coach really, instilled in me how hard, like what it means to work hard. My high school coach, he means a lot to me. He's always supporting me. He came to my Jacksonville game, always giving me advice. Like I said, my dad as well. He's always giving me advice. So I'd say definitely those three, but I feel like a lot of people, that have come in along my basketball journey have helped me along the way in some way, shape, or form. So I don't think I could necessarily pick one, but I would say those three for sure. And my family as well. So,
Has there ever been a moment of adversity in your life that you've had to overcome that even maybe basketball's kind of served an outlet for you?
um, I would just say my foot injury, my freshman year, this is really like the first true adversity that I faced, not being able to do what I love for an entire year and really having to grow in another way, shape, or form. I feel like, and also I feel like that's also a plus of being here with Coach Birch because it's easy just to sit on the sideline, and I feel like she always pushed me to like stay engaged, make sure you know what your teammates are doing, make sure you're still a part of practice, you're still a part of the team. And like she used to yell at me all the time if I'm not paying attention or if I'm not, you know, just like not involved. And I feel like a lot of coaches wouldn't do that, especially to their only true freshmen. They feel like they would like put me to the side or like not feel that I'm important. But I feel like that really helped me and that really showed me like, okay, especially like it tied back to the team culture thing as well. But I feel like that's like the true, like moment of adversity in my life when I was going through surgery and, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to play that season. But yeah.
Has there been any really like just moments while being on the collegiate level that you've remembered either like a really tough game or a really tough practice that it was kind of like mind over matter, kind of like that team slogan of this isn't for everybody, like that you kind of had to just push through maybe a really tough game, tough practice, anything like that?
I would say definitely my freshman year, even though I wasn't playing, I remember we went to La Tech. Yeah, at La Tech, and we were down like nine with like a minute to go, and like I don't think anybody had a doubt that we were gonna lose that game, even though we were down nine. Um, I remember like one of my teammates hit a big three to like, put us up and like that was like kind of showed me like it's never over and that like our culture really does matter and the things that we do in practice and our slogan like it really matters and means something. So yeah, we came back and won that game. That was a great win, but that definitely showed me like yeah, this that was a tough moment that we overcame. And I think it just also builds, like that moment, was a reflection of our culture. That win was a reflection of our culture for sure.
And when you guys are kind of down maybe a game, what do those conversations kind of sound like? And who's like the biggest voice during those huddles and, just the motivation and the coaching? Like, who's the biggest voice and what's kind of the energy that kind of gets the team to turn around?
I would say the biggest voice, obviously, maybe Coach Burks or, Coach Dan. I feel like he has a lot of energy as well. But I feel like over the years, like it's always been like a senior, someone that's, been there, done that, that's, you know, uh, grouping us together and saying like, it's not over, we still have opportunity. But yeah, definitely Coach Burks and Coach Dan. I feel like they're both very passionate. So yeah.
What type of teammate would you describe yourself as?
I would say I'm more lead by example. I feel like I've gotten better with the vocal part, but I feel like I am, that kind of person. I come in, I work hard. I feel like I try to lead by with my actions more. Um, but definitely always working on the vocal part. But I would say I'm more like lead by example type teammate.
And what would you say is kind of an example of that in your own way?
I would say definitely like in summer workouts, I feel like I try to be like, always, I'm trying to compete with everybody. I'm trying to make sure I'm first and, I'm trying my hardest and I'm making sure I'm giving, the most effort. And then in practice, like when we're, doing whatever drill, always try to make sure like you don't have to question my effort or in the game, like it's okay to make mistakes or, whatever. But I feel like nobody should ever have to question your effort. And yeah, and I feel like that's, that also helps me get better. And then also, lessen my mistakes and be a better lead by example. So someone could look to me and be like, okay, I can do it like, Fantasia did and like, have success. So
Is there anything outside of basketball that's really important to you?
obviously my family. But also I like, I like to play video games. I'm a big video game person. I like to play Fortnite and like when I go home with my sister, I like to play this game called Overcooked. But I also like to, watch sports. I like to watch like football, different, just any kind of sports. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I like to listen to music as well, but yeah.
I didn't know if there's like anything else besides like basketball that might be at the same level of importance, like anything else that you kind of prioritize in your life. That was kind of maybe?
I mean, I,
No?
no, that would just say my family. I'd say like that's also very, that's, I think that's of more importance than basketball for sure. But that's about it.
Hmm. And what's something that is kind of motivating to you, kind of like your why?
I would say my why. I would say just I'm passionate about basketball. I like to see myself get better. Um, yeah, definitely see myself get better. And I feel like basketball kind of teaches me like a little bit about life, kind of like in the like behind the scenes, kind of like when you have a tough game, like you like Coach always says, like you have one or one of two options, like you can feel bad for yourself and you know, but and then also you could say like that was bad, but I'm gonna work to get better. I feel like that's a also ties into life as well. Like bad things are gonna happen to you over the course of your life, but you have the option to feel bad for yourself or, get better. So yeah, I'll definitely say that.
That's true. That's really true. Who would you say is the funniest teammate, just for like a lighter note?
Um, this year I would say probably Judith. Um, but then I don't feel like my funniest teammate ever. I had a teammate, Kalia, my freshman year. She was hilarious. I love her so much. So yeah. But this year definitely Judith.
And what are you studying at FIU? And do you plan to graduate from FIU, or like what's the thoughts? You want to go all the way through? Do you like the education at FIU? Like what's it like, student life, everything?
Yeah. Well, my major is information technology.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I definitely, yeah, I plan to graduate from FIU and I plan to, hopefully put my degree to use. I don't exactly know what I want to do. Definitely somewhere where sports and technology mix, but I'm not really set on like a specific, job. But yeah, my major is IT. I love computers. I'm always kind of like that problem solve. I've always been like nerdy, always been good with technology, that kind of stuff. So
I mean, with AI, like I'm sure it's probably going to be implemented into sports somehow. I mean, they already are. Like with the basketball, they are. With football, they are. Like it's just a way, I guess, to figure out more calls and penalties and analyze footage. So I'm sure there will be a connect between technology and sports. But what do those
yeah.
classes kind of look like? Like, what's like the coolest kind of thing? Have you ever like hijacked a computer or something? Like
Um,
what kind of like do you learn?
I have I've been, learning like different programming languages, Java. There's one I'm learning Python right now. But I'd say the coolest class that I've taken like last semester, I made my own website and I could like I really saw like how, time consuming it is and how important it is to like be correct because one small error in your code, like your thing's not going to run. And then some programming languages don't allow you to see your mistakes. So you kind of have to take it piece by piece and run it and do a little more than run it. So yeah, I would say definitely my website creation class, website construction and management. That was definitely my coolest one so far.
That is pretty cool. I mean, you got to be like so specific with those type of things. So you're learning how to code and everything. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's a different language. I know how to do, Java, and then also know like I also took Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. Um, and yeah, I'm just, building my knowledge on like any like computer application that might be like, Windows, learning that kind of stuff. So yeah.
You probably know how to build an app, right? Do you?
Oh no, not yet. I think that's
Not
coming
yet.
soon, but
Yeah, you could probably learn. If you could create an app, what do you think you would create?
So maybe something basketball wise that maybe watching basketball, but also like like synergy, like it's like a basketball app, kind of like how you were saying with the AI. I know they use the AI to like track like every play or your strengths and all that. So maybe something like that. Um, but yeah, something along that line.
And what advice would you maybe have for anybody that's getting scouted by FIU or just looking for options and they're in high school and they're playing basketball and considering playing at FIU? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would say definitely gonna have its ups and downs. I feel like Coach Birch is definitely gonna push you though to like a different, maybe something you're not used to, but I feel like it's rewarding in the end. Seeing how like much you've grown. I definitely grown a lot since I've been here. Um, but yeah, just to continue to work hard. Um, and yeah.
What's the biggest thing that you feel like you've grown in while at FIU?
Probably like my leadership or like my communication and also like maturity as well. I feel like coming in as like the only 18-year-old, I feel like it forced me to grow up pretty quick. I had a lot of seniors, fifth years that poured into me. I'm kind of goofy. I feel like that'll never like leave, but I feel like I've definitely gotten a lot more mature. Um, and yeah, I would say definitely that for sure.
In what ways has Coach challenged you that you least expected her to?
Oof. Probably just to be more vocal. I'm pretty reserved, I would say. But like, there'd be times she like yell at me to, talk, and I never really understood the importance of it until like, seeing it on the bench or, just, especially during my first year, seeing how important that was. And it, seems like a little thing. It doesn't seem like, oh, I didn't talk this play. It'll be all right. Like I feel like she showed the importance of that. So yeah, just being vocal and like being able to connect like with my teammate at all times. So,
I'm sure that you'll probably take that into your real life too and past college.
yes, for sure.
And so who's your locker next to? What's the culture of the locker room at FIU?
My locker is next to Paris's and AV's, Adama's. I mean, it's cool. I mean, we're not in the locker room a whole lot. I mean, it's not like we're like sitting there for a long time, but I mean, it's cool. I mean, I'm like in the locker room, we're all cool. Like we all, just like each other, I would say. I don't think there's like any, animosity towards anybody. So I'd say that for sure.
Oh no, I was just wondering if you guys be getting hype in there. I interviewed men's basketball yesterday.
Oh,
They'd be playing music, they'd be getting goofy, they'd be
oh
going
yeah.
wild. They were
Oh
telling
yeah.
me who's on aux, they were telling me what music they play. So, I mean, that's like, I don't know, the culture of FIU women's basketball.
Oh yeah, I forgot that part for sure. Like after games, like if we have a big win, like so it'll either be me or Paris on the aux that we're playing, some rap song, Boss Man Dilo, something like that's, hype. So yeah, I'd say definitely like we have a lot of fun in the locker room as well. Like definitely after big wins. So yeah.
What's your favorite memory of a post game like locker room hype? What's your favorite one?
I would say, okay, I have two. I would say my first one was last year when we beat Western Kentucky at their place. Like we were splashing water all over each other, and we were playing music, and we were in the locker room for a little while. Like it was just fun. We were all dancing, and like it felt good to get a win on the road. And then my second one I would say is last year also at it was here home at UTEP, and like it was the kids game, so like everybody was already excited. And yeah, we won that game, and then everybody was splashing water, playing music, so just like either of those two. So
And what's something about FIU women's basketball that I would only know if I was a part of the team?
you only know if you're a part of the team. um I don't know. Maybe that just like you always have fun around each other, I would say. Yeah, I don't really, I don't really know.
Is there any team bonding that you guys have done this season?
Yeah, we did a lot this over the summer. We actually got to learn, like, know about each other more on a deeper level, like where we're from and the things that we like. Like, deeper than like just your favorite color, like kind of like your family, like kind of your past. We did a lot of activities like that over the summer, and also like fun games, like competition wise games, not on the court, but like kind of like trivia games. And then also this year, like coaches made a point to like before every home conference game, we have like a pasta dinner. So one room like we pick a room every week, and like they make dinner, and then we come over, and then we'll probably watch like the team that we're getting ready to play. And we'll sit down, talk about like what the other team did like to beat them, or the things that that team isn't good at, like just talking basketball, but then also like sitting down and like eating with each other, and like just spending that time. It also seems like a small thing, but I feel like that's helped a lot, especially like in the starting conference play. So yeah.
That's absolutely so awesome. That sounds like a great time. I love the cooking nights. I love that so much. I would want to be a part of that. So, I guess so how has the season been so far?
It's been pretty good. I would say it's definitely had its ups and downs. I feel like at the start it was a little difficult because we had, a lot of injuries. Um, and then when we started conference play, we didn't start so well. I think we lost our first two games. But then I feel like as of late, we've been on a winning streak except for, last game. But I feel like, it definitely has its ups and downs, but I feel like we have a lot of potential this year. And I feel like, you know, I think we're all excited, just to like reach, the conference tournament. And I think we're all still like committed to the process of, getting better every day. So I'd say, the season's had its ups and downs. I feel like anybody, would say that, but I feel like we're still like locked in on our end goal. So yeah.
Is there a game that you're looking forward to the most and an opponent?
In conference. Ooh, I mean, we play Liberty Thursday. We lost to Liberty last year, so definitely, to play them. And then also Middleton, just because, they're historically been the solid team in our conference. So definitely, going to, playing either of those teams for sure.
And we will wrap this up with one final question of what has been your favorite part and what do you love the most about FIU?
Um, I would say my favorite part is just like building the bond with my teammates and also the coaching staff. And seeing myself, get better, even though it might be small, and like understand, and like it really showed me like being here, like the small things matter, and like the small victories matter, because that all builds up to the bigger picture. And yeah, and also probably my favorite memory was probably the UTEP game, the kids game. We won that game, but also had a career high that game. So yeah.
That's awesome. Ah, go Cats, baby. That's great.
Waza.